The Lord gave me a dream last night, and I typically do not share my dreams unless I know that they have corporate meaning and the Lord releases me to share it. And this one you want to listen to. So in my dream, I'm standing in my living room and I'm watching the news. And on the news, I see that there is lava on the interstate. And I was immediately just shocked because that is completely unusual. So I turn off the TV and I just go about my business. I didn't do anything else. So later that day, I go to what is an old home. I used to live in this house probably about 3 years ago. And I'm in my home and I'm going to bed. I see myself physically going to sleep. And while I'm asleep, there is a knock on my kitchen window. And I look at the window and it's one of my old mentees. Years ago, I used to run an at-risk after-school program, and there was a young girl, very intelligent young girl. I met her. She was a part of my program from like 3rd grade to high school, but now she's a complete adult. And I don't see her now, but you'll need that for context later. So it's her, but it's her at the age that I met her. So she's the one knocking on the window, and I'm looking at the window. I see her face, and she's pointing because my kitchen is across from the front door. So she's pointing at my front door, and so I turn, I look at the front door, and I see, orange flashing, kind of the lights kind of seeping through into the house. And so I open the door, and I look to the left down the street, and the lava is coming down my street. Now, I lived on a corner lot, so my lot was pretty big. The grass area to get to my house was there's a long distance, at least 25 feet. So anyway, as I'm standing at my door and I'm in the threshold of the door and I look and I see the lava coming, I see first responders. The first responders are actually in my yard. So they're coming past me and they have like a lava blanket. I don't even think it's real, okay? They have a lava blanket, and the point of the lava blanket is not to stop the lava, but to contain it and make sure it stays on the street. So as they're passing me and they're in my yard, I'm looking at each of them and I'm saying, God bless you, because I realize the risk that they're taking, putting their lives on the line to help contain this lava. And so as I keep looking around and just in this kind of amazed state of mind, I see the lava, and like I told you, I'm on a corner lot, so I see the lava turning around the corner. And as soon as it gets around the curve, the lava creates a 20-foot wave. It stands up so tall, it's like this black sheet that kind of comes up. And as soon as I saw it, I did not get afraid. I looked at it, recognized the magnitude of what was happening, and then I slammed my front door. I slammed the front door and I woke up from the dream. Yeah. So the thing that the Lord was telling me, the revelation that he gave me is, as far as the dream is concerned, is something is coming. Something is very much, and the something is something that it is disruptive. It is very intense, but it's also transformative. It's going to be moving through systems. It's going to be moving through communities. It's going to be a big deal. But the few things that I want you to take away from this video, because I'm not a fearmonger. The lava exposed danger, right? It tests structures. It is like truth under pressure, not wrath. The lava was restricted to the streets. So God's power is still on display, limiting its access, okay? So the chaos has boundaries, all right? So as judgment passed through the land, through the house, around the houses and all the things, the houses were not touched. They were untouched throughout this whole thing. And I have notes so I don't forget anything, okay? And so when I closed my door, that was obedience, all right? So I need you to hang on to some of these words. You might need to take notes. So here's the thing. Warning always comes before impact. Amos 3:7 says that God does not do anything without revealing his secrets to his servants, the prophets, okay? So in cadence, the steps are, the news happened first. I saw the lava on the news. Then I received the personal warning from my old mentee. Then there were visible signs, the orange lights, then the containment efforts with the lava blanket, and then the decision to shut it off, right? To close the door. This is the key part. There are some young leaders rising up, and that's why God had my mentee in that dream. Young leaders are rising up right now. They are young, but they are aware. They have a sight. They have sight to see. They have discernment. They are bold. They are courageous. They can point out the signs. And they're going to be pointing at some things that the older leaders need to take heed of. They need to listen to the younger leaders, okay? And the watchmen, if you are asleep, you got to wake up, because this is your time. Right? The first responders are the watchmen. The watchmen warn us, they protect us, but they're not fighting the lava. Remember in the dream, they weren't fighting the lava, they were containing it. They were containing it. They were risking themselves. They're risking their reputation. They're risking themselves for the sake of truth. They're risking looking crazy, right, for helping us to maintain our protection. Another thing I want to mention is the rising wave without landing. That is a really key part, because the righteous people, right, we don't ever stay around for the destruction. Exposure in that season, whenever this happens, is imminent, okay? False refugees will collapse and the true shelters will remain intact. The true believers, the remnant, will remain intact. When I slammed the door, that was the completion. Psalms 91:7 says, 1,000 may fall at your side, but none of it, no harm will come near you. All right? So my dream ended before there was even destruction. All right? So God allows the fire to move through systems. He allowed the lava to move through systems, but he preserved the households that remained obedient and aligned. Let's look at some of the biblical patterns. Right? When we see Noah, right? God didn't tell Noah to avoid the rain, the flood. He told him to build the ark in obedience. All right? When we look at Lot, when we look at the Passover, we look at Noah altogether. All of them had warning before destruction. Destruction affected the systems. The houses, my home was my central place. So there is a central place. The door in my dream was this decision maker, right? God did not give me tell me to stop it. He didn't tell them to stop it either. And there's safety in obedience. The dream ended before the impact of destruction, because the righteous never witness full destruction. You need to make sure that you are obedient in this season. This is not about fear, because God has us. God has his people. We are safe. We will see it, but we are safe. So we don't need to be afraid, but you still need to be obedient. Take this word back to the Lord. Ask him what he wants you to do with this word, if there's anything he wants you to do. But overall, be obedient. Amen.